Kill them all. Yeah.
All the Islamic extremists?
No, I mean everyone. You're all bothering me. I want to be left alone. Clearly, the only way that's going to happen is to be alone, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to let you all go. Except the Yankees and the Knicks. The Yankees and the Knicks are going to need someone to play, so keep the Red Sox and the Lakers, and the Laker girls, and the Palm, and we'll need to keep the people who work at the Palm. That's it, though. The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Knicks, the Lakers, the Laker girls, and anyone who works at the Palm. Sports, Laker girls, and well-prepared steak. That's all I need. Sometimes I like to mix it up with Italian. And Chinese. All right, you can all stay, but don't bug me. You're on probation. Don't forget, I was this close to banishing you.
This is Toby Ziegler, and actually, he's in charge of crafting our message to the public.
And today, that message is...
Don't bug me?
That's right.
Nice beard.
My choice, sister. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with a religion whose laws say a man's got to wear a beard or cover his head or wear a collar. It's when violation of these laws become a crime against the state, not your parents, that we're talking about lack of choice. Islamic extremist is to Islamic as KKK is to Christianity. That's about right. That's a good religious analogy. What's a political analogy? What's an analogy using governments?
They don't have a government.
They have the Taliban. They have the government of Afghanistan.
Taliban isn't the recognized government of Afghanistan. The Taliban took over the recognized government of Afghanistan. And there's your political analogy.
What do you mean?
When you think of Afghanistan, think of Poland. When you think of the Taliban, think of the Nazis. When you think of the citizens of Afghanistan, think of Jews in concentration camps. A friend of my dad's was at one of the camps. He used to come over to the house, and he and my dad used to shoot some pinochle. He said he once saw a guy at the camp kneeling and praying. He said, "What are you doing?" The guy said he was thanking God. And my dad's friend said, "What could you possibly be thanking God for?" He said, "I'm thanking God for not making me like them. Bad people can't be recognized on sight. There's no point in trying."
Actually, we already covered that.
It's worth covering twice, don't you agree?
I do.
Yeah.
Pinocle's a card game?
Yeah, I've changed my mind again. Kill them all.
Laker girls?
No. All right.
What was the first act of terrorism?
What was the first act of terrorism?
I could answer, but I think he's asking you, man.
I know it's not new. I know in the 11th century, I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing this. In the 11th century, secret followers of Al-Hassan ibn al-Sabah, who were taught to believe in nothing and dare all, carried out these very swift and very treacherous murders of fellow Muslims, and they did it in a state of religious ecstasy. As a matter of fact, young men between 12 and 20 were given hashish and smuggled into I really don't know what to call it. They were smuggled into a kind of specially designed pleasure garden complete with concubines. They were told this was paradise and that the master's angels would carry them back if they carried out murders of the master's enemies.
Ah, temptation. I have named thee, and thy name is woman.
This is Sam Seaborn, Deputy Communications Director. Now, don't be frightened when I tell you now that in this room, Sam is the knowledgeable terrorism expert. The good news is that in this government, we have some extremely knowledgeable terrorism experts.
I heard I was needed, I came.
We were talking about am I pronouncing this right? Al-Hassan ibn al-Sabah?
Yeah, from the 11th century.
Yeah.
By the way, the Arabic name for their secret order has survived until today. Can anybody guess what it was, the Arabic name? You know.
Assassins.
Assassins. That's right.
Yeah, we don't call on him.
What's going on?
I'm supposed to be at a meeting at Treasury.
I had a 6 o'clock on the Hill. Now I'm stuck here, you know, talking with well-dressed children who can't vote.
You know a lot about terrorism?
I dabble.
What are you struck by most?
It's 100% failure rate.
Really?
Not only do terrorists always fail at what they're after, they pretty much always succeed in strengthening whatever it is they're against.
No, I'm asking you if you'd like to go together with me to see an internationally renowned opera company perform a work indigenous to its culture.
Right. And in what way will it distinguish itself from a date?
There will be, under no circumstances, sex for you at the end of the evening.
Okay.
So what do you say?
Well, like most people, I am an absolute nut for Chinese opera. Chinese being known the world over for their soaring and romantic melodies. And what with your guarantee that there won't be sex, I don't see how I could say no.
Good then. I'll come by and get you at about 7:30.
Yeah. And you know what's good about this? If you hadn't come along with your offer of Chinese opera and no sex, all I'd be doing later is watching Monday Night Football. So this works out great for me.
7:30.
Yes, indeed. Mallory had an extra ticket to the opera for tonight, and she asked me if I'd like to go.
Mallory who?
Mallory, your daughter.
Mallory, my daughter,
Yes.
has asked you
Yes.
to go to the opera using the tickets that used to belong to me and Mallory's mother,
Yes.
the woman who used to be my wife.
Leo, for whatever it's worth, she's made it very clear we won't be doing anything tonight you'd have a problem with.
Like what?
Why don't we stay away from that?
Best that we do.
So-
I'm fine, Sam.
You're fine?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Jenny and I aren't using them. Somebody should.
Thank you, Leo.
Go back to work, Sam.
Yeah.
Fine.
Excuse me, Mr. McGarry.
Charlie, call me Leo, would you?
I'll try, sir.
What do you need?
I've got a message from Nancy Becker's office. Tomorrow's the Deputy Transportation Secretary's 50th birthday. They're having a party, and the president usually likes to send a letter.
Yeah. Tell someone in the communications office. They'll give it to one of the staffers.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Nancy Becker needs it tonight.
Yes, sir.
Give it to Sam.
Yes, sir.
My shoes are shut.
Shut up.
This is something that came up, Mallory.
It's his 50th birthday, Sam. They couldn't have seen this coming for like the last 50 years.
Fair point.
I'm going home.
Don't go home. Stay here. Give me a half hour. I can come up with a new draft.
A new draft?
Yes.
You've already done a draft?
Yes.
You need to do more than one draft on a birthday card?
Birthday message, Mallory.
Sam.
Half hour. We'll get there by intermission. There'll be plenty of death and shrieking. Second act.
Hello?
Hey, baby.
Don't hey baby me, you addle-minded Machiavellian jerk.
Should I step out?
Sounds like it.
You gave him that idiot assignment on purpose.
Yes.
Why?
'Cause I felt like it.
Dad?
You know what, Mal? Your mom's got a genuine beef. I widowed her the day I took over the campaign. But I don't think I've done anything to you. Working in the White House doesn't allow any flexibility insofar as leisure time, as you've discovered this evening. I'm done being blamed by you for this.
So you make Sam write a birthday card?
A birthday message.
Why?
Just my sense of humor.
Hey, Mal.
Good evening, Mr. President.
Margaret. Hey, you all dressed up?
Yes, I am.
Yes, sir.
Yes, could you bring me the Chief of Staff schedule for today, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You look a little glum, Mallory. Did you have plans to go out this evening with someone who had to cancel due to circumstances beyond their control because they had made a commitment to a common and higher purpose?
You're a co-conspirator on this.
Oh, thank you, Margaret. These are just some of the things your father did today. He met with the director of the CIA and received an intelligence briefing regarding stores of plutonium in a country which, shall we just say, is not on our Christmas card list. He brokered a compromise among Senate Democrats for funding of something fairly trivial, but I can't remember quite what this was. Oh, yes, of course, the U.S. Army, yes. He met with my chief counsel to discuss the news that it's possible I've broken several federal laws in the week and may have to serve from 1 to 3 years in prison after resigning my office in disgrace. How'd that go, by the way?
We're fine.
Cool. He received a security briefing, a Central American briefing, and wrote a position paper. And he's been counseling me throughout the day on a bad decision I have to make. Oh, and by the way, this was a very light day.
Due respect, Mr. President. What's your point?
That's a perfectly fair question.
You know what, sir? I can take it from here.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm right next door.
Thank you.
Oh, my point is, Give your dad a break.
So, I don't want to belabor the point, though. I do think that this is understandable. I feel a little self-conscious coming down the mountain on drugs 2 months after I announced I was a recovering drug addict. What do you think?
About what?
What I just said.
Well, I wasn't listening to a lot of it.
Sorry.
Leo, if there's anyone qualified to talk about the benefits of treatment versus criminal action, it's you. Is there anyone whose life would be better right now if you'd gone to jail instead of rehab?
No.
Thank you. Is there anything else? Apparently there is.
Mr. President,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I heard Leo was here. I assumed you were awake.
I am.
I hadn't seen you all day. I just wanted to apologize for the gaffe at the briefing last night.
You fixed it this afternoon, right?
Yeah,
And let's move on.
I do apologize, sir.
No need to apologize, but I accept your apology, and now I'm ready, if not eager, to move on.
Mr. President,
How you doing?
you were sleeping?
Not for a little while now.
Well, this is... Can I say this is great, Mr. President, because usually you have a hard time getting to sleep before 1 or 2.
Not tonight.
Ah, it's got to feel good, sir.
Guys, let me tell you what I would like to have happen right now.
Good evening, Mr. President.
Josh walking in the door wasn't even close.
How you doing tonight?
I'm fine, thanks, Josh. How you doing?
Good. I gave Joey Lucas a coffee mug. She doesn't know anybody here, and she's already working hard. She's very committed. I think I did the right thing.
See, the part I don't understand is I got like 24 armed guards right outside my bedroom door.
Mr. President, after a day of meetings, are you any closer to a decision on drugs?
I'm a day closer. There'll be more meetings tomorrow. In the meantime, everybody calm down. Leo's got your engines fired like you're running Daytona. That's fine. Keep them there. Guess what? Mistakes are going to be made. Minimize them. Fix them. Move on. Kiefer's numbers got you scared? Listen to me. I have never lost an election in my life. We do this right, and people are going to respond. You all had a good day.
We should go live, you know.
Now, you guys should feel free to do this when my wife is here.
Sir, something has come up, and frankly, it's got me as hot as a piston. Apparently.
Sam?
We can talk about this tomorrow.
Everybody, Mandy was doing her job. It's time to let her out of the doghouse.
That's me.
She was doing her job. CJ,
Yes, sir.
so was Danny.
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night, Mr. President.
Good night, sir. Mr. President?
We were almost done.
I met with Congresswoman Wyatt today.
When you were married to her, did you call her Congresswoman Wyatt?
No, sir.
Sometimes I call my wife Dr. Bartlet.
No, I call her Andy. Or, Andrea.
Okay.
Mandatory minimums.
You're whooped, my friend.
Sir.
No, she's been talking to you for a year about mandatory minimums. You've been saying no, but it looks like we know who wears the pants in the Ziegler family.
You call your wife Dr. Bartlett.
Just for the turn on.
The thing is, she's right.
Andy.
Mandatory minimums are considerably higher for crack than for powder cocaine.
Yes.
The vast majority of crack users are black. The vast majority of drug users are white. The mandatory minimums are racist.
Yes, they are.
It should be part of the discussion.
And it will be.
Good. Good night.
Good night. I'm sleeping better. And when I sleep, I dream about a great discussion with experts and ideas and diction and energy and honesty. And when I wake up, I think, I can sell that.
Good night, Mr. President.
Good night. pilot still alive?
He had an ACES 200 ejector seat on board.
NATO command in Brussels says the Aegis systems on the North Dakota picked up a tracking signal in the Foul Peninsula, south of Basra.
He's in the middle of nowhere.
Who else is out there?
The 4th Corps of the Iraqi RG would patrol the area.
Somebody's within 10 miles of the pilot.
Our guy is 10 miles from the 4th Corps of the Iraqi Republican Guard.
It's a matter of who gets there first.
Fitz, you got a rescue scenario?
Yeah. The 16th Special Operations Group out of Hurlburt Field.
They use the Pave Hawks?
And the MH-53J.
These are specially equipped helicopters. They fly treetop altitude at about 180 knots.
Mr. President, can I suggest that rather than jumping into a military rescue plan,
please.
that a phone call to Iraqi ambassador...
Phil, you want to check with the embassy?
I'm saying, Leo, that 3 hours spent on diplomatic solutions...
I'll tell you what, Phil. How about I drop you and your $47 million American warplane that's already been picked up by Iraqi radar in the middle of a desert? Then you tell me if we've got 3 hours to find a diplomatic solution before we come get you.
What's his name?
No, I'm sorry, sir.
The pilot, what's his name?
Captain Scott Hotchkiss.
Where's he from?
Rhode Island.
How old is he?
26.
Rob told me in my intelligence briefing last week that the Iraqi government's put out a bounty, the equivalent of $14,000 US, for any American plane shot down or any American soldier captured. Now, he was just patrolling the no-fly zone, right?
Yes, sir.
He had not engaged.
No, sir.
Phil, if it ends up Fitzwallace has to call this kid's parents, I swear to God, I'm invading Baghdad. Get him back.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. A U.S. Air Force F-117A Nighthawk stealth fighter attack aircraft flying a routine patrol out of Al Jaber Air Force Base in Kuwait was shot down over the southern no-fly zone in Iraq. At this point, we don't know the condition of the pilot. We do know the plane carries an ACES 200 ejector seat and that it was activated. General Richmond and General Clancy will talk more about that in a moment.
CJ!
Danny!
Is there a rescue mission underway?
Obviously, there are a number of scenarios being contemplated, but I wouldn't want to speculate. We have been in touch with the Iraqi government, and the president is looking for a diplomatic solution.
There have been no military moves?
No. CJ! Chris.
Charlie? Sir. Mr. President?
Fitz, do you have any news at all?
Actually, I think I'm going to have something in just a minute. They'll put the call through here.
Okay.
You mind if I wait with you, sir?
No.
How you feeling?
I feel fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel fine.
The eagle on the seal in the carpet. In one talon, he's holding arrows, and in the other, an olive branch. Most of the time, the eagle is facing the olive branch, but when Congress declares war, the eagle faces the arrows. How did he do that? Do you think they've got a second carpet sitting around in the basement someplace?
I don't know.
Maybe this piece in the middle cuts out and they do it like a basketball court.
I honestly don't know, Fitz.
Excuse me, Chairman. That's your call, the blinking light.
Thank you. I'll stop bugging you in just a minute, Mr. President. Yeah. Thanks. Mr. President, I have Captain Scott Hotchkiss on the phone. He's cleared Iraqi airspace, and he's on his way to Tel Aviv.
Fitz.
Congratulations, sir.
The kid's all right?
He's got a sprained ankle.
Well, that's a job awfully well done, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I owe you one.
No, that's not how it works.
All the same, I'm going to check out that thing with the carpet.
Talk to the pilot.
Seriously, I'm going to get an answer for you on that. Captain Hotchkiss, this is President Bartlet. How's your ankle? Good. Before you say another word, give me your parents' phone number. I never get to make this call.
The only poll that matters is on Super Tuesday. Off the record, no way is Hoynes up 9 in California.
It's an internal poll.
Of what? John Hoynes' living room?
His own polling says that he's
you can rig these things any way you want. It's 4 days till the California primary. This thing is wide open.
Russell's internals show him up in New York by 5.
He's only campaigned there, what, 157 times? I think the guy has a hack license by now.
Are you banking on the Latino vote like you did in Arizona, New Mexico?
What do your internals show?
We're not releasing those. I'm through talking about polls.
Because you're third in every one?
Because we're here to talk about issues. It's a presidential campaign. It's not a statistics convention. But we got Hoynes up by a lot less than 9. You didn't get that from me. It's been 2 days since the press asked me a policy question. I think that was about the no smoking policy on the plane.
Do you know about this bill in the California legislature to bar illegal immigrants from getting driver's licenses?
Yeah, we're staying far away from it.
The legislature just passed it. It's on its way to the governor's desk. You know the congressman will want to denounce it.
Of course. Third in the polls. Why not champion the one group of Californians that can't vote?
You'll talk to him?
Yeah.
I really like those little bacon things they had at the fundraiser in Ohio.
Yeah, me too. Except the fact that it was Oregon.
Oregon, Ohio. It's a plane to a minivan to a windowless hotel ballroom. You're lucky I knew it was an O state.
Yeah, there really ought to be partial credit. At this point, all I do is read the talking points they put in front of me, you know.
Miss Santos, pleasure to see you again, it says here. I had such a great time during our last conjugal visit, that page 2.
Oh.
My staff suggested I follow up and seek some additional...
we'll tell them that I maxed out in Oregon.
We'll be starting our descent into Sacramento's Franklin Field in just a few minutes. Now's a good time
Excuse
to
me,
show any baggage. Put your tray tables in the upright position.
The California legislature just passed that bill to stop illegal immigrants from getting driver's licenses.
4 days before the primary.
Because the Republicans in the legislature know it'll divide us in half. You got the Latino vote on one hand, 1/3 of primary voters here, and the ever-popular notion of rewarding illegal behavior on the other.
Okay.
No matter what the governor does, he's going to be accused of screwing his own party. We can only lose here. I know you're going to want to speak out on this.
I don't want to speak out.
You don't?
No.
If you'll fasten your seatbelts and prepare for landing, we should be on the ground in just a moment.
Just remind me when we get to the hotel, I want to talk about our new internal poll.
Congressman, you know Bram, he's heading up California Advance. He was with us on the Missouri-New Mexico swing.
Montana, Arizona.
Right, the one with the big hats.
You want to do a quick change. You got a handful of meet and greets, then a quick clutch, followed by a receiving line.
What's the difference?
You met Backus in San Francisco at the Giants game. Daughter's an honor student at Loyola. Congratulate him on his wife's thyroid operation.
So it was successful?
Don't mention the thyroid operation. Ed Garcia's waiting in your room, then we'll do the home health care hit. Eddie's here?
Couple of last-minute details about La Palabra's endorsement.
You're huge in the Latino community. Going to be a great hit.
Are we going to bump somebody off?
Hey.
Hello, Eddie. How are you?
How's my campaign widow?
Just, needing absentee ballots for Super Tuesday.
It's good to see a friendly face. Everywhere I go now, it's TV cameras and coded produce. That's the way the press pass messages to us on the plane. They roll oranges.
The news doesn't get any better, but you really get your vitamin C.
How long are you in California?
2 days, red-eyeing to Rhode Island, right after La Palabra's endorsement.
We're excited about that.
Hey, we really appreciate that, huh?
This one. Good.
Thanks. Matt, we're concerned about this driver's license bill. It could be the beginning of a whole new wave of anti-immigrant legislation. We need you to denounce it in your speech to La Palabra tomorrow.
I don't think I could do that, Eddie. It would define my whole campaign. I don't want voters to see me as just a brown candidate.
Then I hope some of them have black and white TVs. The governor wants to veto this, but he's scared of it. Doesn't want to be accused of torpedoing the Democrats' chances. He needs cover.
The governor's already endorsed Hoynes.
This is a moral issue. Telling the poor immigrants they can't drive and make a living?
Nothing I say tomorrow is going to make a difference. We need to focus on electing a progressive candidate. Then we can take on all the tough causes.
Now all we need's a progressive candidate.
Morning, ma'am. Staff Sergeant Kelty. This is Sergeant Wolitzer.
Is everything all right?
Sure is. May we?
It's 5:30.
5:26 on mine. I'm going to use this chair here.
We couldn't do this at my office?
According to our logs, you usually exit the building here.
Right.
All right, you may find it's easier to head out the west gate now. It's closer for your parking. I mean, you're going to have to time that, but in the event of a situation, we'll need you to exit here. Miss Craig?
I'm listening. What kind of situation?
A nuclear attack?
Are we expecting one?
Well, any attack, but nuclear is going to top the list. So you'll exit here directly to Marine 1. You'll sit at S5 behind the president to the left the NSA, and they'll evacuate you to your secure location.
Okay.
If there's a situation in your home, we'll ask that you make your way with all due haste to this field off Denville Road. It's about a mile to the south.
A field?
Pasture, more like.
I'll be standing with cows.
A couple of horses is all, and they'll scoot out the way as soon as the copter shows up. It won't be more than 3 minutes from code call to liftoff.
Excuse me.
Morning.
No.
Sorry. Agents DeCastro and Shea, they will be...
I do not need a Secret Service detail.
They'll give you a wide berth.
Could we please discuss this?
Not really. Have you got a spare room or a basement or something? They're gonna need a place to sleep.
You're not waiting, right?
I just knocked. You okay?
In the event of an emergency, I stand in a field with a cow and wait to be airlifted.
Hey,
Morning,
there
sir.
she is.
Good morning, Mr. President.
You excited?
Absolutely. Berlin's your first call. They're angling for a piece of the Baltic shipping deal. We can't make it happen.
Look at that. Hit the ground running.
I won't be in the security briefing. I've got paperwork with the CIA, but NSC will get me up to speed.
Sky's falling, damage estimate to follow.
Yes, sir.
You're going to be great at this.
Thank you, Mr. President.
She's going to be great.
Is she nervous?
No, she looks fine.
Oh, that's good. I'd be apoplectic.
Let's keep it light today. Anything you can, hold till next week.
Already on it.
Check the hospital, see if Leo's up to a phone call.
This is Elroy. He brings the briefing books. You guys are going to be friends.
These are this week's?
These are today's.
Ready?
I told Josh to be there in case you need backup. He probably forgot.
I don't need backup.
Just try to keep tight rein. I'm not the story. Leo's not the story.
Yeah, I know. Camp David's a story. Stop worrying.
Yeah, that. Good morning. This will be my last briefing as White House press secretary. Toby Ziegler will be filling in until the president names a replacement. I'll ask you to please be kind to him, and if you can't be kind, at least speak slowly. These past 6 years working for this exceptional group of journalists, I'm sorry, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Thank you. After bypass surgery at Bethesda Naval Hospital 36 hours ago, I'm relieved to announce that Leo McGarry is in stable condition and headed for a full recovery. Though he will always be a very valuable part of this administration, he will not be returning to his post. I am therefore pleased and terribly proud to announce that, effective immediately, the position of White House Chief of Staff will be filled by Claudia Jean Craig. Congratulations.
I do not have an answer.
Can you point us towards the subject you're commenting on?
Can you find out where counsel put the DOD analysis?
CJ Craig's role be the same as Leo McGarry.
Title, parking spot, gym membership.
She's not coming into this with any kind of national security experience.
The president has a flock of national security professionals prepared to address his questions and the chief of staff.
But we're about to stage a military action that'll have
military incursion into the most entrenched conflict on the planet. CJ Craig's not the only one working without a net.
Oh, no.
Every confidence.
You just said nobody has experience with this kind of military incursion.
The Pentagon has experience, as do the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the NSC. But in the event they all lose their way, the president can always send CJ Craig to Ramallah to swat at suicide bombers with her purse.
Nobody policy portfolio?
Oh, good Lord. My purse! Page Carroll, get him the hell out of there!
Who has the quote?
I got the president can send C.J. Craig to Ramallah to swat at suicide bombers with her purse.
With you, I didn't even know we had offices down here.
That bodes well for me.
I wonder what else we got down here.
Bats, possibly.
Room 442 is what we're looking for. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it any second now.
You really didn't need to take me down here.
There's no way you'd find it yourself.
You're the White House chief of staff. You shouldn't be.
Don't worry about it. 442? Where the hell is it?
You've been really decent to me, Leo. I want to thank you for that.
Kid, the others are gonna come around.
No, they won't.
See, you gotta remember that the people you're talking about live their lives under siege, 24 hours every day, at a time in their lives where they're trying with all their might to do good. You're in their foxhole. Sam Seaborn had this innocent relationship with a girl. Bam, here comes the enemy. I'm a recovering alcoholic. Bam. Radio, TV, magazines, cameras in front of my house. People shouting at my daughter at the ball game. Editorials, op-eds. He's a drunk. He's dangerous. He should resign.
I wrote one of those op-ed pieces.
I know. It's right over here. 442. It's written down here, this is the steam pipe trunk distribution venue.
I'm working in the steam pipe trunk distribution venue?
No, you're working in your office.
Well, thank you for the help.
Hey. Hey.
Hey.
Did you talk to Steve Joyce and Mark Brookline?
Yes, I did.
See, I was told you were just going to be working the majority counsel's office, which I wasn't wild about to begin with, but it's my understanding I'd be talking to Brookline and Joyce, seeing as how they work for me.
I was taking initiative.
Well, wasn't that spunky of you?
Sam, do you think there's any chance that you could be rude to me tomorrow? Tomorrow is Saturday. I will be here. You can call me and be rude by phone, or you can stop by and do it in person. Because I think if I have to endure another disappointment today from this place that I have worshipped, I am going to lose it. So if you could wait until tomorrow, I would appreciate it.
Anyway. The jury returned a $7 million. I'll be back in just a second, okay?
Ainsley? Look, can I talk to you for a minute? All of us really trying to say,
Who did this? Who did this?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Don't worry about
Who sent
it.
you this?
Don't worry about
Ainsley?
it. Sam,
How did your meeting end up going with Brookline and Joyce?
it went great, Sam. I talked to them for a couple of minutes, and I think that... Sam!
Did anybody order a pizza? And if they didn't, could they do it now?
You know what, guys? When I write something, I sign my name. Here, I'll show you.
Sam!
You have any idea how big of a harassment suit you just exposed us to? She works here. Which is more than I can say for either one of you. You're fired. S. Seaborn.
Sam, I don't know who you think you are around here, but you can't fire us.
Oh, yes, he can. Leave here and don't ever come back. It's time for both of you to write your book now.